everybody, it's Melinda with Shearing. Just coming back. This is my first day off since Thursday morning. Me and Amy went to Michigan Fiber Festival over the weekend, and it was hot. It was so hot. It's like 93 degrees. There was no air conditioning in the expo building. They had exhaust fans going, but it didn't help any. So here's a small clip of some of the new stuff we've got in the booth for the upcoming shows, and then I'll be back and go over everything else. Good morning. It's day one of Michigan Fiber Festival. I'm in the booth. Amy's teaching, I think, fiber across the wheel. But I thought I would take this minute to go over everything that we have that's kind of new for this show. So let me flip my camera around. So we have the Cheviot Scottish sock, and this is my sample that I did in it. I did it in the Cheviot sock, and I held actually this color, this amethyst. It's the Coopworth that we have from Solitude lace weight that I held double. There's lots of different colors. There's even some greens hiding down there and some variegated. Here's all of our Scottish sock that we brought. We've got some new UK Jacob fingering in two. It's hard to tell on the camera, but there's two different shades there. We have a little bit of funky left. We have the Alice 2.0 in Jacob. That's the sport weight. What else is new? This CVM. The CVM is so squishy. Yes. This Arnie, it's so squishy. And I have roving that matches that. Here's the roving. This stuff is so squishy. We also have, what else was new in here? There's the two different shades of Shetland in sport weight. There's the Lindy, that's black, natural black Shetland. What else was new? Something else was new. This is the Airy Home. This is that Leicester long wool from the UK. There's some more black UK Shetland that we have in. We've got all the Louette stuff. We've got Carters and everything. Good morning. Of course, I have my pepper pouches are here, and the manure tea bags, the dryer balls. We've got Louette spinning wheels, a very mad Kuya that she's in jail for trying to run away. I got my Cali Red stickers are here. And then we've got some pre-made socks, and then we've got all of the dyed sport weight Clune Forest and the Montadale Squish and the Dorset Hike. And there's the Llama Rama and the Cheviot. I love this color pink. There's the Romney and the Tunis, and then the Border Leicester Fog. Look at that squish. Look at it. I have it in natural gray and the white. There's the sample cal for it. It's beautiful. But if you're in Michigan, stop by and visit. So if you guys are lucky enough to get a hold of some of that CVM, that stuff was so squishy. It took me twice as long to stuff the roving bags because it just was, the squish on it and the color, that light camel brown was just chef's kiss. It was beautiful. So this week, on Friday, I teach at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. My class is called Wild Wonderful Wool. There's still, I think, like 10 or 11 seats left. That means there's a lot of people in there, I hope. So, if you guys want to, I'm going to give you a little, look at how cute this is first off. A little sheepy. We can undress him. We can shear him. But we're going to talk about some stuff like wool insulation. So instead of using fiberglass, you can use wool, which doesn't smell. I can touch it. It's not like fiberglass where I have to worry about protection my hands. It's not made out of plastic. Renewable resource. Also, some of this stuff comes all the way from Europe that I'm talking about. Like, this is Whisper Wool's products. These are sound dampening, self-adhesive. They look like felt sheets like you get at the craft store, but you can buy this in rolls. So this is wallpaper. So it's felted sheep wool wallpaper. You can get it in a bunch of weird colors, so you can make designs. But it's sound dampening, so they've started to use this in some schools and stuff to help with sound. They also make, we all see drop ceilings, right? How about making them so they're fireproof and renewable? These are also by Whisper Wool. These are sound dampening drop ceiling tiles. They come in a couple different colors. I think they're pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty neat. I also had fabulous help from a company called Ma. Now this is the coolest stuff I have. It's MAA with umlauts on top. They're from Estonia. And they sent me, I asked just for a small, like, they make garden fabrics. So instead of using the plastic weed barrier, it's felted wool, so it'll biodegrade and it's not going to stay in the earth for a million years. And I asked them they make them cut in circles for like potted plants and everything, and I asked them for like one of those and like a small package of wool pellets. They sent me full-on samples. So I'm going to brag about Ma. So this is one that already has little holes cut in it for your garden. It's all wool, it's felted. It actually feels nice. I mean, there's some VM in it, there's some veggie matter in it like that. But how cool is this? They sent me the whole thing, so it'll help insulate your garden so stuff stays warmer, and it's gonna help hold moisture and everything. Check that out. And they also sent me some other stuff, but that's for my class. You have to come and see me talk about the rest of it. But they also sent me a full box of wool pellets. So we've all heard me talk about don't put the full fleece in the garden, because if you try and put the rototiller in it, you're going to get divorced. But these are wool pellets. So this is, oh, now they're on my table. But they're shredded wool pressed into pellets, so you can put them in your garden, and they definitely smell like sheep. And that's because that's all the waste wool. So we're still making a product out of that. So it's also got some like fertilizer benefits, along with everything about having the wool in your garden. So Ma, MAA with 2 little umlauts, they're fabulous, from Estonia. They sent me a giant box. I was expecting like a little box, and they sent me everything that they have. So huge shout out to them for helping with my classes. But yeah, so if you want to talk about me being a fiber nerd, come to my class on Friday this week, and we're going to talk all about wool, from, you know, the cellular structure to what superwash is, and what's the difference between woolen versus worsted, and how we get fleece off the sheep, and all the way to some of these weirder products. And then I'm off for like a week, and then the chaos really starts. We might be doing shearing demonstrations at the Pittsburgh Irish Festival. I haven't gotten a definite on that. And then the weekend after that, again, I would kill to have a cheering squad at the Ligoner Highland Games up at Idlewild. This is my 3rd year competing in the Highland Games, and that's where, you know what, I can show a video. I can put it right here. I'm going to put a video right here of me throwing probably the hammer, or maybe even the caber. Or I can do both. Look, I got more spots. But it's something really fun that I never thought I'd do, but here we are doing it. But I would kill to have a cheering squad at the Ligoner Highland Games, and that is September 13th up at Idlewild. They have the pipe bands and the dancers and the harps and everything. The only downside is there's no Celtic CrossFit this year. The people who run Dollywood purchased Idlewild, Sandcastle, and Kennywood here in Pittsburgh, and they're fighting us pretty hard on having the sheep there. So no animals. We're not allowed to have the Irish dogs there. We're not having the Irish ponies. We're not having any sheep. So to them. Hopefully next year we're back with Celtic CrossFit, but this year it's just me throwing Highland stuff. which might be better. I might not be so exhausted the next day. And then the weekend after that, we leave for Dallas-Fort Worth. That's September 18th and 21st for the DFW Fiber Festival. And then the weekend after that is Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. And then the weekend after that is Lambtown Festival in California. We're not vending or anything there, but I'm going with Amy, and I'm gonna assist with judging the fleece show, so I know what I'm doing judging the fleece show at Fayette Fiber Festival next year. So keep that in mind while you're going through your fleeces this coming spring, that we're hosting a fleece show at Fayette County Fiber Festival, and I'm judging it. And then the weekend after that is the PA Sheep and Wool. Like I said before, I really overcommitted for that one. We're taking the girls as a breed display, doing a shearing demonstration, doing a seminar about some of these products, and then we might show the girls. It depends on the numbers and the time frame for all of that, because there's just a lot going on in 2 days that I'm committed to, so I don't know if I have the time to kind of sit and wait and hurry up and wait for the sheep show, but we'll give it a shot, sure. And then the weekend after that is Rhinebeck, or the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and then I'm done. I'm gonna go radio silent for probably a week, just so you guys know, because that's 5 weeks of every weekend I'm literally in a different state. So bear with me. I'm gonna try and do as much of this as I can while that week's going on. And then in November, Cypress is coming over. November 1st, I'm gonna bring him over so he can have his date with the girls, which leaves, as of today, this Tuesday, 217 days until lambing season can start. Not like I'm counting down or anything. Not excited for lammies at all. But I promised you guys more sheep videos, even though I'm not shearing. And today we moved the girls. I've started calling them my little chew crew. I have 2 sets of electric fence that I move around our property to weird places that I can't brush hog, I can't mow, and I certainly don't want to weed whack because it's as tall as I am. But between the 6 sheep and the goats, the 3 goats, they mow it down to like a golf course. It's fantastic. So we only have to move them once a week. It's pretty nice. So I'm also going to put the process of moving them around, and they're just really cute and following me around trying to trip me because I have the grain bucket. But I really hope I see some of you on Friday in Green Tree at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. This is my first time teaching a real class and not like something at a knit club or something. So I've worked really hard. I have a whole multimedia presentation. I've got a projection screen, and I'm bringing products, and we're going to touch some raw fleeces and go over the differences with them. We're also going to do some science experiments in there. So I really hope you guys do that. The links are below. You can schedule for classes. If not, you can sign up the day of. So I hope to see you guys this weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye. So this is what the girls left after a week. A lot of this was overgrown with just a deer path through it or 2, and they ate everything. I mean, I found tires that I didn't even know existed in this pile, so cool, I get to clean that up. But here we are. I'm taking them over to the paddock so they don't get into trouble while we move all that electric fence. That's my cattle dog Toad, who kind of understands the assignment, but not really. He tries. And then taking them back down, you can tell it was a hot morning. Taking them to their new lush pasture. Gotta inspect the water first, get some sips in. We did have a little bit of fly strike there on Joy, if you can see the spot on her ear. But this is where I'm gonna leave them for about 7 days. You can see it's much taller than they are, and we'll check back next week to see how far they went.